This old man was absolutely insane. With nothing more than a hard slap to his thigh, he tightened his muscles and managed to stop the blood that had been pouring from his wound. But what shocked the Ant King even more was that losing a leg hadn't weakened Nitro at all. His fighting spirit remained unshaken. In fact, he seemed even stronger than before. To the Ant King, Nitro losing his leg was inevitable. The gap in strength between them was simply too great. And during his earlier matches of Gungi, the Ant King had awakened an ability to predict his opponent's moves. Now, he could see through every action Nitro was about to make. To prove it, the Ant King openly told Nitro that his next target would be Netero's left arm. Then he launched another attack. Without hesitation, Nitro activated his zero hand. He pushed both his speed and power to their absolute limits. The two clashed in a storm of sparks, but despite Netero's efforts, the Ant King found an opening. In a single swift strike, he severed Netero's left arm. The entire exchange lasted only a second. Certain that victory was his, the Ant King confidently demanded Netero's name, but Netero simply smiled. Then he activated his technique once again. The Ant King watched in shock. A colossal Buddha, more than 100 meters tall, rose behind Netero. The very next second, the giant statue's hands closed around the Ant King, trapping him completely. Netero gathered every last bit of strength he had left. Then he unleashed the attack known as Zero Hand from the Buddha's mouth. This devastating blast rivaled the power of a nuclear weapon. It embodied every technique, every lesson, and every ounce of mastery Netero had accumulated throughout his life. When the smoke finally cleared, Netero stood there hunched over. Defeating the Ant King had cost him dearly. His body trembled uncontrollably. His eyes were dull and lifeless. His life was slowly slipping away. Then he raised his head once more. To his horror, the Ant King was still standing. For the first time, Netero felt true despair. The Ant King believed his victory was certain. After all, he was the ultimate chimera ant. How could a mere human possibly defeat him? But he had underestimated humanity's resolve. The moment he saw Netero drive his hand into his own chest, the Ant King experienced a level of fear he had never known before. And that fear was exactly what humanity had planned for. The Ant King immediately tried to flee, but it was already too late. As Netero collapsed, the miniature rose hidden inside his body was triggered. The explosion unleashed absolute destruction. A gigantic rose-shaped blast slowly bloomed across the battlefield. Everything in its path was wiped out. The Ant King's royal guards sensed something was wrong. They could feel his life force fading away. Without a second thought, they rushed toward the battlefield, but by the time they arrived, it was already over. The battlefield had been transformed into a sea of molten magma, and even for the Ant King, there was no way he could have survived that.